Burkina Faso has just signed one of the biggest deals ever. Biggest deal ever. The country is really moving to a direction that Pan-Africans enjoy. Biggest deal with who? With Russia. Are you surprised?
From now on, two countries are joining forces to ensure a true transfer of technology, enabling them to address several fields at once. It's not only about the energy sector, but also other areas that will be involved, notably the health sector through nuclear medicine. Essentially, for the energy aspect, it will be about exploring the possibility of implementing a nuclear power plant in Burkina Faso.
So fellas, that's what it is. Burkina Faso has officially signed a final administrative document of an historical intergovernmental nuclear deal with Russia, taking a significant forward in its quest to nuclear energy. Congratulations. Piga makofi. Yeah, piga makofi. It's interesting. I think it's amazing to see somebody get it right, because Africans always cry. They just cry, we don't have electricity, there's no water. I don't know if you've experienced this. Do you know in many African countries there is no electricity? Yes, there's lights that comes, there's electricity, you can watch TV for a moment, but it's never 24 hours a day. Some people get electricity for 10 hours then it goes off. Why? Because in most cases there are way too many people for the electricity that is available. And how is that possible? Because when many years ago the colonialists came into many African countries and built the infrastructure for electricity, they didn't plan for the black people to give birth to 6, 7, 9, 11 children within a decade or two. Now after 5 decades, you can imagine, okay, the number of people that now require electricity. In some countries also in Africa, usually people who built the infrastructure of electricity, they put money aside, thinking about the future, saying we're going to put this money aside, save this money, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Or else we know that in the future we may have more children, so more humans will require more electricity. So we cannot use the same means we're using right now for the future. Let's put money into a bank account somewhere. Guess what happens next? Well, usually when a black leader comes into power, his friend, if not his nephew, just run after that account that was keeping money for the future. They will use it for their own purpose, dilapidate it, then afterward they will complain saying we don't have the means to furnish electricity to everybody, forgetting that the people that were there before them, they made sure there was enough money in an account that will be used for the future. But yeah, you know, most black people basically, once they're in power, they care about their own stomachs. They actually say the country is okay provided that I am drinking champagne. If I am drinking champagne, it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter whether your child cannot go to school because you don't have money for school fees. But as long as me and my children, my nephews and nieces are flying first class, it's fine. Let's continue. So this is a massive project, fellas. A massive project. And Russia is coming in to build a nuclear plant which is going to help Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso finalized a significant intergovernmental nuclear agreement with Russia. The deal involved collaboration with Russia's Rosatom to develop a nuclear infrastructure for peaceful purpose. They had to head there for peaceful purpose. We are constructing nuclear, not for the atomic bomb, but for peaceful purpose. Now, who's going to manage the agreement? Okay, I know it's not going to be very easy, but Russia is going to manage the agreement alongside Burkina Faso, but Russia first. And how is this going to be done? It is estimated that Russia is going to get about 80 to 85%, whilst Burkina Faso will have 20 or 15%. Is this a good deal or not? Well, then on the other side, you need to take into consideration Russia is bringing all the equipment. They are bringing the money. This investment needs at least $7 billion to operate, and Russia is bringing at least 80% of that money. So Russia is bringing the mechanism, they're bringing the engineers, they're bringing the tools, they're even bringing the fuel. How do you run a nuclear plant? You mainly need uranium as a fuel, and Burkina Faso, as far as 2025, does not extract uranium. While it is said that after some survey, they found there is a possibility for the uranium to be in that land, but they do not have uranium. Therefore, it will mean that Russia will have to bring equipment, bring the engineers, the brains, and also the money, the funding. And on top of that, bring the fuel to burn. So they're going to be controlling the company for the next 20 to 30 years. And then Burkina Faso is taking over. Is this a good deal or not? Now, let me just remind you here, Burkina Faso, many people sleep in the dark. There's no electricity in many places. Yes, there is electricity, but not to the level of a first world country. They receive technology transfer and upskilling, reducing future reliance on Russia. That is beautiful. They're not just bringing you stuff, they're also teaching you how to do and manage it yourself. Unlike many African countries, they'll bring somebody from Norway to build something. And once he's gone, you're going to need him again to come and service the thing because he never thought you, or you never included in the contract the section saying you have to train our people. Well, Burkina Faso is not about our life. Number two, Burkina Faso will have electricity guaranteed revenue after servicing loans from Russia Rosatom. Well, you have loans, you're going to have loans because these are the people that are building things. You're going to need money. So they're going to lend you some of the money you need to reimburse. I know it sounds harsh, but that's what it is. Number three, Burkina Faso will secure construction contract like engineering, procurement, and many more. And that's a good opportunity for the Burkinabe men and women. Number four, Burkina Faso will gain strategic geopolitical influence in West Africa and future maintenance, construction, follow-on work. The influence of an African country with nuclear power will be very interesting. So Russia will gain with influence to try to curb all the sanctions they have. They have to diversify the market. They cannot just be working with Europeans. So it's crucial for them to also work with Africans. And by doing so, they are escaping the sanctions that are submitted to the Russians right now. Russia secure construction contract, bringing engineering, procurement, and construction. Number two, the earn through interest on loans extended to Burkina Faso. Number three, they gain strategic geopolitical influence in West Africa for future maintenance. And obviously, it's good reputation for Russia. In other words, Russia will bring the reactor, the design, and the construction. They will bring fuel supply. They enrich uranium and take back the possible waste. They will provide scholarship, training, staff development, manual, and also sponsorship for Burkina Faso people to go study in Russia. They will do the operational support. So initial staffing, maintenance, help, and long-term will be due by Russia. Do you think this is fair? You don't have a nuclear plant, okay? You don't have it. You don't have nuclear power, nuclear electricity. You do not have it. So you sleep in the dark in most cases. Not all of it. Many parishes don't have electricity. I can provide this to you. And it's going to be you after 25, 30 years, depend. Do you want that or not? If you don't want that, how fast can you catch up and build your own things and bring your own uranium and stuff? Very difficult. And now we're moving to something very interesting. The United States of America. Here's a map. Okay. United States of America has approved a preventive drug against HIV. Is this good news or what? Let's pick up my coffee. You gotta pick up my coffee for our brothers and sisters that live. Yeah, you've got to do it. So this is basically a preventive shot that people take. You will take it twice a year, and you become 99% impossible to contract HIV.
This is a twice-a-year injection. It's given subcutaneously, and it is an antiviral that prevents HIV acquisition.
That is big because, look, the majority of people living with HIV are in Africa. I don't know why. Maybe we're going to make a video about it to clarify, because we have some elements showing that it wasn't a very natural thing at all. It was purposed for something and it went south anyway, and maybe did not achieve exactly what it was meant to be achieving. So the USA, through Gilead, have you heard of Gilead? One of the biggest companies of pharmaceutical. They produce a lot of medication about cancer, about hepatitis, a lot of stuff. They have put together this brand new shot. The United States has approved a new injectable preventive treatment for HIV. It is the lenacapavir, marketed under years 2 ago, a twice-yearly injection. It was approved today on the 18th of June, so it's fresh. It has proven effectiveness. Phase 3 of trials show exceptional efficacy, up to 99.9% protection with 100% success rate. That's a lot. That's a lot, brother. That's a lot. Usually before they accept the medication, you need to test many people, see whether it's actually working or it was just balak. 99.9%, that's very high.
Well, the first trial, there was both of these trials were supported by Gilead, was the Purpose 1 trial, which was done for young reproductive age adolescent girls and women in sub-Saharan Africa. And the reason for that is that in Africa, you see it's part of the world where there is female predominance. There are more infections in women than there are in men. And we have had a terrible time controlling new infections, reducing the number of new infections in this population. So that was the first group. We really aimed it at women and girls in high burden countries of reproductive age.
Do you think they don't have the total cure to this disease? I'm just asking. I mean, if you make money out of people being unwell, that's your business model, right? Are you happy when nobody's unwell? Well, if you're not happy, then business is not doing good. Then you're not a businessman. If you are a businessman involved in this, then you need to be, you know what I'm saying? Now, my question is, for many decades, after asking the question, do you think there is no cure to this? After many decades of people waiting, why would they release something now that's actually a vaccine? It's not necessarily a vaccine, but it's very close to that. Okay, it's also not very close to cure, because cure is something else. So it's something that allows you to be protected. Why would they do this? Because, I mean, they make about $4 billion in selling anti-retro, you know what I mean, it's a lot of money. Do you think this is genuine? Or do you perhaps see this as one of those things, you take injection, whatever, you take injection to protect yourself, and then down the line they say, okay, we're recalling the medication because there's something wrong with this. Yeah, and we're taking you back to ARVs. We were just trying to test this to see if we're making money through it, but we've realized that we're not making enough money. Therefore, we're going to get back to the previous setting. How would you feel about that? There are types of people that cannot contract HIV. Do you know that? Yes, people with the CCR5 genetic change. So it's a genetic mutation. Those people cannot get HIV. They can do that with 20, 35, not possible. You find those genetics usually in Iceland or Scandinavia. That's where you find most of those people. There's also people they call elite controllers. Elite controllers, just as it sounds, it's those people, they may be infected with HIV, but it's never truly developed. The immune system has a capacity to suppress virus load. So the virus doesn't grow. These are natural human beings. Well, you find those people apparently in some area of Cameroon and Congo. If you look at the map, you see Cameroon and Congo not very, very far from each other. The elite controllers. So amongst HIV people in the world, only 1% of them are elite controllers. That's perhaps one of the reasons why sometimes you ask yourself, but I know that guy's got whatever disease, but how come he's still here? I know there's a possibility he's been taking medication. If you believe in that, the other possibility is he's one of those controllers. So do you still think God created humans equal? I'm just asking. That's what it is, fellas. Burkina Faso signed the biggest deal ever. Nuclear plant for electricity purpose. They had to mention that this is for civilian purpose. Okay, it's not military. Is this good or not? Russia obviously will manage 85% of the deal, while Burkina Faso only managed 15% or less until 20 to 25 years. Then they're going to give them what's due to them. And let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.